Welcome to the Gambling Show. I'm your host, TJ Carpenter, and for the first week this season, my season total winning percentage has dropped below 70.
Prize Picks is daily fantasy simplified.
Just terrible, I know. 69%, which is the best percent. That's where we sit now, right on 69. You know, look, if you want to do 100%, if you never get anything wrong, 100% is the best percentage. But right after that, you think 99% is the second best percentage? No, 69. 69% is the best percentage. Just ask Rob Gronkowski. Bucks at Falcons. Jameis Winston has as many interceptions this season as Matt Ryan has touchdowns, which is only an indication of his future Hall of Fame status. Just ask anyone in the Bucks organization who needs him to be good in order to keep their job. They'll tell you those picks are just an indication of all the touchdowns he's eventually going to throw. You just need to have patience for like 5 or 6 years. Which brings me to the Falcons. All you needed was a little bit of patience, Dirty Bird fans. Yeah, I'm sure the one win you had up to 3 weeks ago was an indication to you that your team, the Falcons, was only the third most popular football team in Atlanta. And yes, it will be pronounced football until the Falcons have a winning record. I don't make the rules, Atlanta. You're the ones who are supporting Atlanta United in record numbers. I mean, the Falcons were going to start playing like a team that employed Julio Jones at some point, right? All it took was Matt Ryan to come back from sabbatical refreshed. A sabbatical in a place where sunlight doesn't exist, apparently. And that means Matt Ryan is back to blandly dominating every team in his path, or at least the ones in the NFC South. So far, those teams have included the Saints and the Panthers, who they dominated thoroughly. Astonishingly, at 3-7, the Falcons might actually be a wild card team and not, in fact, the third most popular football team in the city of Atlanta. After, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs and whoever plays in the SEC championship game, and Atlanta United. Seriously, I'm pretty sure that they get more fans at home games than the Falcons do. The only reason that they wouldn't is because Atlanta doesn't. The only reason Atlanta United wouldn't outdraw the Falcons is because they rope off the top deck so that they can't sit there, and by extension embarrass the team that owns the building. Take the Falcons and the over. Very, very interested to see what Falcons defenders are catching touchdown passes from Jameis Winston this week. And also whether or not that means that I get to win Jameis Winston bingo. Seahawks at Eagles. Russell Wilson continues to have the beta male equivalent of an MVP season. He's no Lamar Jackson, who wins like a real man by putting his knee ligaments and the success of the franchise at risk on every play. Real men don't protect their bodies or play from inside the pocket. No, they hurl their athletically superior bodies into a sea of violence like the Tasmanian devil of football on every single play. Lamar, I love watching you play, but your career is going to last as long as your knees do. Just ask Robert Griffin III. He knows. Whatever happened to Robert Griffin III? Oh, that's right. He's on your team now as a backup. So the Eagles' task is pretty simple here. Just stop beta Russell Wilson from carving up your defense with the surgeon-like precision of an anime ninja. Easy to do. Not easy to do? Catch passes wide open in the end zone. The Eagles' recipe for success this offseason seemed to be build an offense that can't catch and a defense that can't cover. It's like their response to the NFL's rule changes were, that's too hard. Let's just disregard being good at anything related to passing at all. And it's worked out great. They're right there on the heels of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East and could still legitimately be a wild card team. Or just win the division. The NFC East, the NFL's favorite family sitcom. Everything I like about the Seahawks, I find in the Eagles in mediocre hungover form. Like a college bro who looks vaguely like Chris Evans. Take the Seahawks and the over. Cowboys at Patriots. God, I can't wait for this game. It's going to be so fun to watch two teams I hate. America's team versus also America's team. All right, children, gather around your smart TVs. It's time to see America's most annoying fan base take on America's other most annoying fan base. I get to watch the best team I've ever seen beat up on the team that thinks it's their right to be the best team I've ever seen, whether or not they're actually any good at all. The team that does nothing but demand more money to play at a mediocre level versus the team that does nothing but win Super Bowls at a highly discounted rate. The team that loses to the Jets versus the team that believes it's their human responsibility to absolutely beat the out of the Jets. The team who has the longest tenured coach in the NFL versus the team that has the longest tenured coach in the NFL, defying all logic and reason. Much like Disney, Bill Belichick will not stop until he owns absolutely everything in the NFL. And like women's ice hockey, Jason Garrett has made it this far without any balls. And for that, he deserves some credit. Take the Patriots and the over. The Dallas Cowboys have tried to turn this season around so many times, they've got to be dizzy at this point. So definitely take the Patriots and the over. Packers at Niners. Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy Garoppolo. This game will have historic amounts of swagger on the field. Unlike Jimmy G, seen here impregnating every woman in a 1,000-foot radius, Aaron Rodgers has actually earned that swagger. Aaron Rodgers already has a league MVP, a Super Bowl, he's dated a hot actress who's into kinky butt stuff. Jimmy G is quickly catching up with Aaron Rodgers, however. He's already won a Super Bowl the easy way by letting somebody with more talent do it. And he has, in fact, dated an actress who's into kinky butt stuff. But unless he time travels back to the 60s, when teams were literally afraid of throwing the football for fear of being murdered by Deacon Jones, unless he's doing that, I don't know if he's going to get league MVP anytime soon. His stats do not an MVP caliber season make. So far, the biggest Jimmy G highlight of the season is him hitting on Aaron Andrews in a post-game interview. Aaron Rodgers does his post-game interviews high on drugs. Of course, he also eliminated one of the largest fourth quarter deficits in NFL history while high on drugs, so he gets to do whatever he wants to in post-game interviews. I don't want to hear another word about Jimmy G's swagger until he stages a fourth quarter comeback for the ages on the best drugs the NFL can buy. So take the Packers and the over. In a game all about swag, I will take the swagger on the field and not the swagger on the sidelines.
Prize Picks is daily fantasy simplified.